So this part of you is the real you, this bit. That's the real you. And as an extension of that, you need to understand that really that is the real you, of which that is a half. You follow me?
Yeah. We've been taught we're all one whole person.
I know.
I have people say, "Oh, my other half." I'm going, "There's no other half. It's just one."
How many of you don't want there to be another half? Honest, be honest. A lot of people don't want there to be another half.
There's also hope in that too, though.
Sorry?
There's also hope that there is another half.
Well, why on the earth do you enter a relationship for? Because there's a soul longing inside of you to connect with another sex. There's a soul longing inside of you to connect with another half. There is. It's inbuilt inside of you.
So do you have to feel that incompleteness and that longing fully before?
The truth is, if you feel incomplete, then there's an emotion in you that you're yet to release. So you can actually be complete as a half of a soul in terms of the feeling complete, and usually that is when you have the best relationship with your soulmate, if they also are wanting to feel complete as well. So it's not about completing the other person. This is just how God designed you. The real you is that, and what you are right now is that, which is the half of the real you. That's just the truth. How you deal with that truth, it's up to you. You can say, I don't want to know the other half of the real me. I want to stay away from him or her. I don't want some mongrel man being involved in my life. And what does that tell me? That I've got an emotion inside of myself, right, that I need to release. Do you think you're going to be at one with God having a thought like that? Obviously not, because it comes from a feeling of hurt inside, right? So many of us feel resistive to the idea of there being one half of us out there somewhere and only one half, because we then feel like, well, where's my choice then? It's all gone. It's this that's been given the choice. It's this that's been given the choice. Remember I said the soul has free will. That is the soul, not you. You're a half of one. It's the two of you together that creates the full one that has the free will.
So that's another physical being.
Well, at the moment for yourself, yeah. But it doesn't have to be a physical being. So for all the spirits in the room, there are actually, many of them have passed hundreds of years ago, and they would have another spirit who's actually their soulmate half. Yeah.
They do?
Yeah. And yes, there is sex in the spirit world too.
There is?
Yeah.
Well, I have sex in the spirit world in my dreams, but is that fair dinkum? That they spirits can...
Yes, that's why I answered your question before you asked it.
Now, don't be a smart ass.
I like being a smart ass sometimes. Yeah.
They do.
The truth is that sex, the sexual expression is an expression of the soul. It's not an expression of the bodies. Right? It is an expression of the soul. Right? So the soul has been created to have sexual relation. Right? That's what this whole soulmate thing's all about. It's about sex, really, in the end.
So for spirits to have sex, this is getting a bit involved. Is it through an energy experience more than what you would call a physical experience?
Yes, but to them, like energy and physical are the same thing.
So energetically, I mean, if you want to create an orgasm or whatever, you could do that on a... Do spirits, is that how they work?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've had sex with a ghost, so to speak, you know, and physically felt it.
Yeah.
Everything. It was just like it was a real experience.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, because there was,
Yeah.
And it was quite a bizarre experience to go through, and it actually brought up a bit of guilt, because I'm thinking, oh my God, you know, what kind of person am I? Would be attracting what I thought was a bad spirit in order to have sex with me.
Well, it may have been too, by the way.
Well,
there are many spirits in the spirit world who would like to have sex with people on earth still.
So when you're working with spirits, I mean, I'm a medium, okay. I've let that go because I just wasn't quite sure what I was attracting to myself. So in that case where I was attracting a sexual spirit partner, does that mean that then, and maybe it was not of the purest of kind, does that then reflect on me and saying that was a state that I was in at that time?
Remember, everything happens through the law of attraction. Right? So what was the emotion that you felt after the experience? Wasn't it one of guilt?
Oh, well, the feather trick was pretty good.
There was an emotion you felt.
Actually, it was pretty good. But the emotion I did feel was just starting off in a so-called spiritual journey, where I was just starting to learn about things like this in this lifetime. I suppose the guilt I was feeling was coming from other people saying, well, you must be in a dark place to be bringing in a spirit. And so basically then I went into the poor me, said, well, what am I doing? I must be a dark person attracting. And so because I was very raw and very new and very gullible and very trusting of what people were telling me, I think probably I felt, well, you'll probably say no, it's something that's been brought up in me, that's a memory. But for me at that time I thought, oh, I'm dealing with the dark spirits because I didn't know any different. And that's what I felt was.
Well, do you mind if I tell you the truth?
You can tell me the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I'm sure you're going to.
So help me God.
I'm a divine spark of God. Give it to me.
The truth is that a spirit who would want to have sex with a person on earth without them knowing what's going on is not going to be in very good shape emotionally. So the emotional condition of a spirit in that state is not going to be that good. There are many spirits who desire to have sex with people on earth because they're not having sexual experiences in the spirit world, because they don't think they're able to. Or they're in a state where there are the majority of the same sex with them because of the injuries, and so they can't interrelate with anyone of the opposite sex. So many spirits look for people on earth to have sexual relationships with as a result of that. And if a person is open to that emotionally, then of course you can encourage that sexual relationship. What it triggered inside of you were not emotions relating to sex, actually. They were relating to guilt and shame and other issues that were being triggered inside of you that you didn't allow yourself to experience at the time. So at the time, the feeling was like you were feeling great about the sexual activity, but there was also some other feelings associated with it that you buried. And if you allow yourself to go back to that experience, you'll remember those other feelings. And they're the feelings that the law of attraction was triggering in you to release. The key is to understand that no spirit who's in a good condition will want to do something to you that you're not conscious of what they're doing. You follow me? Just like you wouldn't want to do something with someone else if they weren't conscious of what you were doing, right? That's what love would do, right? It'll be a first sphere spirit who's probably missed out on some sexual experiences, and so they're wanting to act out some of those sexual experiences on earth. And now, I'm not judging them or yourself, right? Because the law of attraction brought you the experience to trigger the emotion that you at the time actually shut down. And the key is to go back to that event now and let yourself open up that emotion. You follow me? Because that's what the law of attraction was bringing. Now, in the end, this spirit might even be a soulmate who's passed and they feel really attracted to you. Like, it could be that. But in the end, they are still in a bad condition if they've done it without you knowing what's going on, or without you being aware of what's going on. So it doesn't really matter who they are. What matters is that I deal with the emotion that I need to work through about that. right? And you'll find in your case it will be related to some childhood experiences, right? That things that you don't want to face there. But the reason why I answered your question about yes, there is sex in the spirit world is because in the end, this union is a sexual union, right? And like look, be honest, isn't sex one of the best things you enjoy?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So do you think that somehow that's all just going to disappear as soon as you pass? Honestly, why would you think that? It's because everyone's told you that sex isn't holy, and sex isn't spiritual, and sex isn't this, and sex isn't that, right? Sex is all lustful and dirty and all those kind of things, right? And because of that, you believe that, and so you believe that all these spiritual things can't, it doesn't work that way. Sex is inbuilt inside of your soul. This whole union is a sexual union.
So where did the androgynous ones come from?
The androgynous ones, there are no androgynous ones.
Oh, that's interesting.
They actually feel they're androgynous because they do not want to cope with their own emotions that cause them to want to feel that way. So all of you at the moment, there are some of you here at the moment who don't want to have sex in the sense that you feel that the sexual expression is not something that you're attracted to. And I need to say to you that if that's the case, there are some very fundamental injuries, emotional injuries, inside of you. Now, if you passed into the spirit world, you would not want to have sexual experiences there either. And you may eventually call yourself an androgynous one, right? But just because I call myself something, it doesn't mean from God's perspective that that's what I am, right? God created all human souls in this form. And the split happens for all. All people who are incarnated go through that split. So every single one of you have a soulmate, and you've got no choice about it.
You make babies in the spirit world?
No.
God created